We are our belief system. And that belief system we created ourselves before we were 7 years old in response to pain, fear, and fear of more pain to come. Now, like she just talked, if she feels that she's clumsy because she dropped the ball and her mother tells her she's clumsy, now she has to justify not being able to drop the ball by accepting the fact, oh yeah, I'm clumsy, therefore I can't pick the ball up. So she's going to keep reinforcing that because the only enemy that we have is between our ears. All right? Now, we've created that to protect ourselves from pain, fear, and fear of pain. Now, what we are learning to understand is that what we have created, we can change. These are computer programs in our head. And under stress, we go back into our computer and say, how did I survive before when something like this happened? And we repeat the same programs. That's why in this work, you're going to learn how to go back to the age of cause when she first felt clumsy, for example, and look at why she felt clumsy at the time. Get rid of the stress, and then reprogram it. Because the brain doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. When we remember something in the past, we aren't remembering it to the brain, we're re-experiencing it again and again and again. So when we reprogram those things at age of cause, then they become habits instead of necessities. We aren't trying to save our life anymore, we just have an old silly habit. And we can change habits. Right? We can change habits. So this whole thing is to become consciously aware of what are these subconscious doubts and fears and limitations that we think we have, and understand that no, it's just a figment of our thought process. We just created them because we thought we should, and now that we have these, we want to justify it. Oh, that's because I'm okay, I'm not okay, or they would be nicer to me. I'm not okay, or my parents would have loved me the way I want them to. Doesn't matter what they gave me, it's what I didn't get that I used to prove to myself that I'm not worthy. Okay? You want to do some more?
Yeah. Just another thing that, it keeps, as I said the other day, that our this response may never go away completely, but your turnaround time is going to become very sharp. For instance, I've always had this very strong reaction, what used to be a reaction, is on any kind of suppression of women, any kind of subjugation or putting down female value in any way, whether it was in a family or a workspace or anything. And I would, by a male, right? So I would, really, my warrior-like thing would really come out, and I would have a scrap about it. So you couldn't talk to me very easily. And when I went into age recession, I realized where I was 3 years old, and I grew up in a house of boys, and I was the only girl. And my mother always said, oh, boys will be boys. Boys can do this, but girls can't. So here are all the boys, they're going for this mela, affair. And my mother says, no, you're a girl, you can't go. And I screamed so much that I became black and blue, and I stopped breathing. So that was the start of the asthma. But it was a very strong anger reaction, which lived in my body, and until I saw it for what it was, and until I accepted it, diffused the stress that was on it, for it to not continually have the same reaction, which was really upsetting my breathing. So it wasn't the medication that I was taking for it until I realized how much anger is stored there, that really needs to be let go of and understood and accepted and, moved on from. So this is going to keep coming up, until we say, hey, I did it again. Like Michelle was saying something just now. They say, I did it again. All right, now I'm not going to do it. So I make up, I encounter my habits differently. Anything more?
Yes. So what that just shows you is when you understand at the age of cause why you did something, like she's talking about, why she was angry at herself for not being good enough to go out with the boys. All right? So therefore, every time that she got angry from then on, her breath would be a problem. and the asthma would come back up again. Now, by understanding that and going back to the age of cause when she first decided to do that, all right, now it lightens up. It gets less and less reactive. So this goes on until she eventually convinces her own cells that, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm feeling good. And that's why that mantra is so valuable. I don't do that anymore. I'm feeling good. And until you convince yourself that you really mean it, it's going to keep coming to check you out to see if you mean it.